Right. We're gonna have a few minutes until the session starts, so we're just gonna chill out until 9 p.m. UK time. 5 minutes left, and afterwards we're gonna get going. Right. We're about to get started. So, welcome y'all. And we're back for another round of Quicksilver League, round 8 this time around. We're in China, and this track is quite interesting, I gotta say. There's a lot of difficult sections. We're gonna dive into that later on, and you also need some straight line speed. A track quite good for the guys with traction control, as there's a few corners where if you have traction control it massively helps your lap time. And one other thing to keep in mind is it can rain here quite often. The weather is very sketchy at times, so we could expect basically anything. So let's have a look at the grid. I think we got... Do we have 20 guys? I don't think so. Apparently we got 16 guys in the lobby. So not quite the full grid. But we're gonna have to eliminate at least one driver from Q1. So everybody should set a lap time and do their best on the first session, during the first session. And yeah, have a quick look up. What, I actually don't have access to that, so I have to ask the guys for next week to give me access to that. But as far as I can remember, All Albion had a pretty good race, and I think he is in the lead of the championship. I think JJ should also be up there with him, and if I'm not mistaken, VP should also be quite up the ranks. Connor had some good results, so pretty sure he's gonna be in the top 5 as well. And oh yeah, David Boyer also with some good results, so I believe these guys are gonna be fighting it out once again. So let's see, some guys are already getting out to do a lap, and we got 17 guys in fact. For now it looks like we have some nice blue skies over Shanghai, but for the upcoming sessions that obviously could be changing in no time. So we're gonna have to wait and see as spectators. Unfortunately, we don't get any insights on that. We can just see what's on the screen. And for now it looks to me like it's gonna be nice and dry throughout the session. If there was any clouds, I'd be inclined to say we're gonna have some rain, but for now it's looking good. And I think VP is gonna be the first guy on a lap. So right behind him, I think that's gotta be Speed Alcoholic. Oh, and actually we have someone else on a lap. The J Corpse already doing his first lap into turn 1. Looks like he is navigating it quite nicely. Obviously that's gonna be purple, as he is the first car to take sector 1 onto the very quick left into right, then the double left-hander. This is gonna be one of the tricky spots on the circuit. Now with the elevation change in this quite unique section, gotta say. Kind of a banked corner, a bit banked, and you get a lot of speed out of this corner onto the main overtaking spot, this long straight on the bottom of the minimap. Keeping it nice and tidy on the last, and oh, actually Maljury Pippo was the first guy to complete a lap, but Jacobs with the 136 is gonna be on pole provisionally. However, Speed Alcoholic behind him on a 134. Nicely done from him. VP should also be in a good spot with a 131.7, and Maljury Pippo did a 132.4. So we already have some good lap times on the board. And Pietro did a 131.1, Mellow spaced with a 131.7. And we are getting a lot of lap times. All the guys are trying to set some times right now. Trying to get on the board. And Connor is also very quick here, a 131.1 from him. These lap times, there's obviously one question here. Will they break the 129s in the highest level of racing? When you look at TSRL or PSGL, those kind of, or AOR, those leagues, the guys do 128, and I think especially the guys with traction control, they might have a good shot at getting some very fast times on board with 129s maybe. We're gonna have to wait and see. For now, the cutoff is Blue Sonic with the 137.4. Behind Crazy Shadow, who did a 135.3, but invalidated his second attempt. And it looks to me as if a lot of guys are out on their lap. The guys that did not attempt to do a lap so far. Sean Kino invalidated his lap. Again, going for something different. A lot of cars going out straight away. He seems to make a habit out of going out a bit later to avoid the traffic, which is I think quite a good thing to do. Also, guys like JJ and Bluntrules, they also seem to do that quite often, and maybe that's the reason that all of a sudden JJ appears in the top 5 towards the end of the quali sessions, waiting out for the track evolution, which I think is not too bad here, especially since there's some very slippery sections on this track, as we are following all Albion for now. So the leader on the league standings, can he put down some solid lap time here? So far it's looking quite nice. Out of the hairpin, going into the last corner, almost 90 degrees, but he invalidated his lap. It would have been a 31.0, excuse me. That would have been easily been enough. And oh, by doing that, that is one big problem with China. If you invalidate on the last corner, which is quite likely because you want to get on the throttle and take it with, yeah, without a lot of rotation. If you invalidate, you also invalidate your next lap. So all Albion has to go out again and set a new lap time. I don't think he will have enough fuel, or at least I'm not expecting him to put in enough fuel for doing 3 push laps. So that's already a bit of a hint towards his race, because you want to have as many tires in basically any race you participate. You want to get as many tires for Q3 to make 3 runs, and the soft tires here, you can barely do 1 push lap. If you try to do a second one, they will disintegrate quite quickly. And if you start on the soft tires, you can do 5-6 laps and then the tires drop off massively. So yeah, having to use another set of tires in Q1, that's obviously anything but optimal, especially since he has more than enough pace to qualify. I think a 1:35 would have been easily possible for him. He was way beyond that. But yeah, let's see. We have other guys on push laps, I believe. Pietro is doing another run. Is he on the same tire, however? That's the question. Or did he put on new tires? And still, not everybody posted a lap. So we still have 4 cars who did not set a lap, but we're gonna follow blunt rules here, because Pietro already seems to be qualified. I don't think he's gonna drop off here, but blunt rules is on his first push lap, so let's see if he can set a decent lap time. Ideally, you want to have a 24. That's a pretty good first sector. He's going purple right now, showing some very promising pace here in his first attempt, but then going a bit wide. That was definitely not perfect through the very quick left-hander. Maybe he can make up time here, going on the throttle quite nicely. That's much better. And again, purple in sector 2 as well. So he seems to be on a really good lap. And would you look at that, Blunt Rules seems to be showing some quite solid pace here already. One more corner to go, just make sure to not invalidate. But yeah, he is not purple. The game is lying, because he is already 3 seconds off the pace, but he is on P12 right now, so that's more than enough for the moment. Let's follow Sean Kino. The game seems to like the color purple for some reason, but let's be a bit more skeptical this time around, even though I think Sean could have the pace on a track like this. So let's find out. Taking the apex very nicely. You don't have to actually hit the apex on that hairpin, but you can certainly gain some lap time if you do. And he is going to post a 1:30.9, more than enough. He's gonna be in P3 at the moment. And finally we have Albion back out, and JJ is also going for his first attempt. 5 minutes on the clock, and more than enough time to do two hot laps. But for now we're gonna focus on All Albion first. He is currently approaching the last sector, about to finish his lap in a moment. And this time around he is taking it a bit more safe. It's a 130.6, I want to say, and that's more than enough to qualify him. Back on to JJ, who is in Sector 2, in the technical section of the track. And posting quite decent time there. Very tricky to get on the traction here. And he still has a few seconds to spare, so looks as if he has no problems qualifying. So now we have Blue Sonic, who is on the cusp of getting defeated. He is on an out lap, as well as Crazy Shadow, the two brethren fighting it out for the last spots here. Also, oh, Crazy Shadow is in P16, so he is also out if he cannot improve there. Blunt Rules is setting. Oh, he must have made a mistake there, but I'll assume he's gonna do another push lap right now. He will try to improve to make sure that he can get into Q2 as well. Bimmer Guy seems to be happy with his 132. Oh, and that is invalid. Big question now, does he have enough fuel for another lap? He can make it to the end. So he will have another chance if he has enough fuel. 2 minutes left on the clock. As, oh, Blunt Rules disturbing here Blue Sonic on his lap. That was... yeah, he could not take the racing line there, and that can easily cost 1 second on this particular spot. So always good to be aware of who's approaching and just basically stop the car almost on a part of the track where you can do that. But let's see if Blue Sonic can improve regardless. Not quite getting around this time. He had too much speed on the apex, couldn't get it all the way down. But he might be improving just a bit here, a 136.2, but that's still not enough. He's gonna have to improve massively if he wants to get through to Q2. And right now it looks as if he's gonna be struggling just a bit too much to accomplish that. Let's take a quick look at a Crazy Shadow who is on his push lap. Ooh, going on the curb there on the exit, that curb is very dangerous. Gotta try and stay away from that. Crazy Shadow also... Oh, and there he is completely off the track. Does not get an invalidation, but will it be in time to do another push lap? He is certainly outside of the track this time around, but I think he just made it right. as the clock was ticking down to 0, and the game shows he is on a lap, so if he has enough fuel, maybe there is a chance for him. But realistically, it's looking tough for the two. And Blue Sonic seems to have abandoned his lap. Something must have gone wrong. Maybe he spun out on the exit of the banked corner there. So it's only Crazy Shadow left. He is improving in Sector 1 slightly. Ooh, going very wide here. You don't want to do that because left-hander, and oh, he straight up changed the layout of the track here. He is up by 3/10 now, even though he did go quite wide again here. The game does not invalidate him for some reason. Quite interesting. Can he improve enough? He had about a 1:20 approaching this corner. It's looking very similar this time around as well. Oh, that curb can be dangerous as well. And oh yeah, he misjudged that corner big time. That's gonna cost him on the exit, and Crazy Shadow will not improve enough to go through to the next session. So it's gonna be P16 for Crazy Shadow and P17 for Blue Sonic. And we are already through with Q1. So we can already see the top 10 are all within the 131s, and behind that we see bigger gaps from down to Blunt Rules and up to Malgery Pippo. So these guys we're gonna have to take a look at. Can they improve and kick someone else out of the top 10? That's gonna be the question here. And on to Q2 we go. Who's the first to go out, try to set a lap time, as people are already choosing different compounds this time around, especially the guys on the brink of elimination seem to prefer the soft tire here. Gordy, Bimmerguy and Blunt Rules, they've been in the top 15 but outside of the top 10 in Q1, and it seems like they would prefer the tire to have a chance to qualify for Q3. And the first cars are on the track already. Malgery Pippo trying to get out first, as always. But in front of him we got... oh, he just overtook a Racing Point, and that's gotta be Speed Alcoholic. Exactly. So let's see if Malgery Pippo will go on his timed lap first. As we can see, a lot of guys changing their compounds now. Blunt Rules is the only one at the moment on the soft tire. Everyone else seems to be trying to get a lap on mediums. Warming up the tires just to be right on the temperature when he starts his lap. So let's follow Malgery Pippo and we can do some quick talk on this track. Obviously you want to get as much of an acceleration out of the last corner onto the main straight. It's a very long straight, so you can make up time before the lap starts. Here into turn 1 you wanna brake, not really brake, just a tap on the brake and turn in after the 50-meter board. Very difficult to get traction out of turn 2. That's one of the biggest pain points on this track. Here about the 100-meter board, and then go on the traction very fast here onto the fastest corner on the track, 7th gear, about 270 kilometers per hour. You want to go here, then keep it to the inside here so you can get the inside of the next one. You gotta sacrifice the right-hander to get the double left-hander. Very difficult to get traction out of the second one as well. Here you brake a bit after the 100 meters. The elevation change makes it quite difficult to go on the throttle, and then you want to be very gentle on the acceleration here to make sure you don't spin the car. Obviously you want to get as much of a good exit as possible. Here about quickly, just a tad bit before the curb starts, especially when you have DRS. You have to brake a tad bit earlier. Here before the 50 meters, turn in, go on the throttle as fast as you can, and Mallory Pippo is gonna do a 1:33.6. That's obviously not good enough. He did a better lap in Q1, so let's see if he can improve from that. But we also have some other guys struggling, but I guess that's due to the tires, so we have to keep in mind the mediums are quite a bit slower, but I've seen better times on the mediums in practice, especially by VP. I think he did a 1:32 in practice, so, and as we can see, it's definitely possible. All Albion did a 1:32.2 on the mediums. He's provisionally in P1 now. Behind him, Sean Kino, he did not mess up his lap this time around, puts in a 1:32.7, and the 1:33 is behind VP, Pilos, Speed Alcoholic, and Mallory Pippo. We got some more guys approaching now. I think, is that Bimmer guy? That is Bimmer guy. Let's see what he can do. 1:31, 2, 3, and it's a 1:33.7. That's quite a decent time, but unfortunately he is behind everybody else with his first run. Will he do another one? And you can already see people do not appreciate the soft tire here. I think everybody knows that this track is quite harsh on the tires. The lap is quite long, and the good racing tires are the mediums. They can hold on for quite a bit longer, and the hards are very durable here as well. You can do quite a lot of laps on the hards, and they feel quite grippy, to be honest, more so than on other tracks. But yeah, the question here is anybody willing to sacrifice his race start and deviate from the medium tires and go to the softs just to kick out some other guys? If you make it too easy for the guys on the mediums, you give them a free run for the money. So let's see about that. Let's switch it to David Boyer. He invalidated his first attempt. Alright then. I would assume the guys with the 1:32s, by the way, Connor also posting 1:32, right behind all Albion. I think those guys will definitely keep it so and try to save their tires now for the race. Obviously, if you end up in the top 10, these will be the tires that you use for the race, that you start on. And the mediums, they can do about 10-11 laps for sure if you only do one hot lap on them in Q2. So let's see, David Boyer is probably gonna try to go again now. Will he accelerate now, or will he just go to the box here? His call to now change to the soft tires. We're gonna have to wait and see. We have one of the guys with the some of the best paces in this field now on his lap. J-Corps did not set a lap time so far. He also chose the medium compound. And it's going to be quite interesting to see if he can make it onto the top 10, keeping it just about on the track there. Ooh, losing the car, that's a big problem in this corner with the elevation change. You want to get on the throttle and oh, he completely lost it there. That's going to be front wing damage. Oh, and he destroyed his car again. J-Corps again destroying his car in the qualifying. Q2 is not his friend. And that's just, yeah, just too eager to get on the throttle. And you have to start wonder, ooh, that's gonna be another P15 start for J-Corps, most likely. We do have a Mellow Spaced on a lap as well as JJ, so let's stick with Mellow Spaced right now. He did quite a decent lap in Q1, so I expect him to do something similar now on the medium tires. He should probably be within reach of the top 10 again. Getting quite a decent exit there, a little bit of a lockup if I've seen that correctly. Oh, and another lockup into the hairpin. Taking it very cautious here, and he will do a 1:33.4, which puts him P7 provisionally. And JJ did a 1:31.7 on the mediums. That is pretty quick. So great job, JJ. That is an amazing lap, and he is 100% through. Some guys will not even get these times on the soft tire. I can guarantee you that. So now we have only 4 guys on the brink of elimination. Here obviously a Speed Alcoholic did another run on the mediums, a 1:31.6. Even improves on JJ's time, and you can see the track evolution is already starting to show its true colors here apparently. And we only have a few guys left to set a lap time. Pietro is on an out lap. David Boyer is already on his quick lap. Just started his run. What kind of pace can he show here when it comes to getting into the top 10 on the mediums? Is he able to manage it? Obviously some guys are already preparing the soft tires. VP put on a set of softs as well as blunt rules. They are still in the pit, but I could see them going out just to ensure they get a spot here. And we got kicked from the session. At this point I'm not even mad, that's what I expect from the game. We're gonna try to get back into the lobby. Hopefully. Oh, Connor straight up invited me, thanks mate. Oh, everyone is so quick this time around. They were prepared for this. Thanks a bunch, guys. And we should be back in no time to see the finale of Q2. Which makes me wonder, are people trying to use the stream to get more information on their opponents? Well, I guess there's nothing I can do about that. And gotta show some big brains to think of that, don't you? Alright, let's see what happened. So, on the brink of elimination, we got Bimmer Guy, who's barely outside of the top 10. Malgery Pippo is on the line. We should probably check out the tire situation. And oh, as we can see, some guys are trying to set a quick lap on the softs. And ooh, this is gonna be interesting towards the end. I'm not quite sure who's gonna be through here. I think everybody up to Sean Kino should probably be safe, but I don't wanna jinx it. But VP is not taking any prisoners. He is going out again on the soft tires, making sure he can qualify for Q3. But I think on this track, to be honest, I think it's if you don't have enough pace to qualify for Q3, but you have good race pace, I think it's okay to actually sacrifice the qualifying and start from, obviously optimally would be starting from P11. I think it's not too bad, but you're gonna run into problems when the disasters start to show up into turn 1. Very tricky to get it right here. You have to be able to trust your opposition into turn 1, as everybody will just straight up go for it there. It's a very quick corner and anything could happen. Bimmer Guy was not able to improve. He is on P12, so he will not have enough time to set a new time. His tires are also gonna be going off at this rate. So do you even want to start on these mediums if you can make it? Blunt Rules is one of the guys to threaten the P10. Malgery Pippo did not do a good lap on his softs. Is he gonna do another lap on those? His tires are gonna be finished. When he's qualifying on these softs, he's gonna have 4 laps or 5 laps and then it's gonna be it. But oh no, he is slowing down. He doesn't want to risk it on these tires. Gordy gave up on the session. I think he will play the strategy game here, tried to go for the mediums and didn't make it, and I think that's an okay call. But let's see now, we got some guys on the road. Pilos finished his lap. He did a 1:32.7 that put him in front of VP, who is in P9 right now. Mellow Spaced is on the bubble. Can he improve? He is on the soft tires. Bimmer Guy finished his run. He improved by 1,000. That is pretty close. Blunt Rules is marginally improving, but could be enough. Maybe. Let's follow him around. It's a 1:33.3, and that puts Mellow Spaced out of the top 10. Blunt Rules now on the bubble, but Mellow Spaced is improving. He went out on the softs as well. Can he improve and take back his P10 spot? He can. Goes P3, and that's gonna be VP now on the line. Oh, and Malgery Pippo did abandon his lap, so VP will be just safe, and very smartly done by him. We've been on VP the last 2 races. The strategy calls with the safety cars and everything, they were not optimal, but this time around he's showing some brains. He's going out on the softs, making sure he can get a lap time in case he drops out of the top 10. He put straight away when he saw that he was saved, so very nicely done from him. And we're gonna have Blunt Rules in P11, and oh, pardon me, and that is a perfect starting position for him. Then we got Mallory Pippo on P12, Bimmer Guy on P13, again improving by 1,000. How does he do that? He did that twice in a row. Is that on purpose? I couldn't even do that on purpose. Well, that's something. And Gordy P14, J-Corp's obviously destroying his car. Yeah, the curse is back on him, I suppose. And only one guy in the top 10 on the soft tires now. Everybody else who had some strong pace on the mediums, Mellow Space is the only one on the soft tires. And to be honest, he might be suffering quite a bit in the race with those softs. They go off immensely fast. You can stretch them out if you got DRS on the guy in front. Maybe go for 7-8 laps. Yesterday, I think it was yesterday or no, the day before, I saw Tierra Limitless, and he was also driving China in TSRL, and he did 8 laps on used soft tires, so he qualified on softs for Q3, and he did 8 laps, but the lap times, they dropped by seconds. The first 6 laps, if you're cautious and if you do a good job, you can kind of stick with the mediums in front of you, but at the latest, lap 7, 8, the tires drop off so massively you're gonna lose a second per lap, and then accumulatively another second every other lap. And this time around we only have 12 minutes of qualifying, so everybody tries to get the best possible starting situation. I think the quickest here was Speed Alcoholic into Q3. Behind him it's All Albion, and you can already see the fight for positions here. All Albion is gonna overtake Speed Alcoholic. Speed Alcoholic letting a lot of guys pass this time around. Very interesting to see what's happening here. Obviously you wanna make sure you give some space to the guy that's gonna be ahead of you. And we're gonna have to see what kind of times are being posted in about 2 minutes. I'm expecting at least a 1:29 from someone. I think that's gonna be the time that we're looking at when it comes to pole position. I think a 1:30, a low 1:30 will probably be enough to get into a decent starting position. If you're in the 1:31s, it's gonna be rough to go beyond P8 in my opinion. And keep in mind, this is quite a long track. The lap times are very big in comparison to, let's say, Monza or Brazil. And All Albion is invalidating his lap already on the... They tried to go on the throttle too much on the exit of the last turn. So we're gonna go back and check out, who is that? I think David Boyer, right behind him. So yeah, so this time, so the distances will be a bit bigger than usual. Don't assume that's gonna show a big difference in pace from these guys. When the lap time overall is bigger, then the differences will be a bit bigger as well. Onto the last sector here for David. We're going a bit on the grass here, and you can see the car is sliding quite a bit. very nicely taken the last turn here, and David is gonna post the first time. It's a 130.8. VP behind him on a 131.6. That's nowhere good enough. And Pietro and Speed Alcoholic posting 130 as well, 130.3 and 4 respectively. Connor on a 130.5, and JJ not as close to excellent as he was in Q2 with a 131.4. Pilos on a 131.9. He is not looking too good here with this time. Will need a massive improvement on his next lap. The only guy in the pit right now is All Albion, and understandably so. He used another set of tires, I suppose, obviously in Q1, that is. So that's at least what I'm expecting. So he will try to do 2 runs, I guess, or maybe even spare a set of softs. Sean Kino invalidated his lap. Ooh, and that is, yeah, there is no chance for Connor to take the optimal line here on the spot where Sean Kino was stopping his car to let him by. I hope Connor is not on a push lap, because there was no way for him to safely take the racing line. And either he's not on the push lap or he abandoned it. But yeah. So let's follow. I think VP is on another lap. And actually, Mellowspace is also on a push lap, and he is very close to finishing his one. So let's follow him into Sector 3, uphill, taking a bit too much curb there. You actually want to avoid all the exit curbs on this banked corner. They are very devastating and deadly. If you go on them and put a bit of throttle, they just spit you out, turn the car 180 degrees, and that's the last thing you want. Another lockup here. He did that in Q1 already. He seems to be struggling with the trail braking in the into the hairpin, but he did manage to put a 130.7. That's quite a decent time. He's into P4, and he is starting on the soft, so if he is able to get up the positions on the get-go, I think he's gonna have a good shot to go into the lead straight away. And if he's lucky and there's a safety car, he can pit for the hard tires, I guess, and have an easy race. Maybe he can even go for the mediums and do 2 runs on medium tires. They go very long when they're fresh. You can definitely do 14 laps. I'm not 100% sure about it on the pad though. The tire wear on the pad is quite a bit more than on the wheels, so maybe you cannot do half the race distance on the pad with the mediums. But it looks to me as if he is pushing for another hot lap. Let's find out. Oh no, he did put it. It looks to me as if he either doesn't have any ERS left, or he has 100% and turned it off, so I guess he's gonna be pitting now. That means only All Albion and Sean Kino do not have a time set. I don't know what All Albion is waiting for. He's gotta go out. I mean, he's got to get a lap in as David Boyer exits the pit. Or was that David Boyer? I think that was Pilos. Yeah, Pilos getting out there. Sean Kino is going to be the next guy to cross the line and start a hot lap. Did quite a decent lap in Q2, safely securing his spot in the top 10 with only 1 lap. So let's see what he can do. Let's follow him on the TV pod. Shortly after 50, braking quite aggressive on the inputs here. Getting a bit wide, oh very wide. That's no good. He lost a lot of time there. 100%. Missing the braking point here as well. I don't think that's gonna be a good time. At least for now, it doesn't look too promising. But he's keeping it tight on the right-hander. Much better here, but he did go on the curbs quite a bit, which makes it difficult to accelerate out of these left-handers. But I think he still has a shot to go into the 130s. He needs some sort of time set right now or he's gonna be out. He does seem to enjoy the hairpin. He's taking it quite nicely every time I've seen it, but oh, he massively cuts the last turn and that's gonna ruin his lap. He has to do another push lap right now. Hope for the best, but now we have to go and see what the other guys are doing. Pilos is the next in line. He is on an out lap, but behind him we got David Boyer. He is on a hot lap. He is improving a bit over 1.5 tenths up on his time. What can he do here? Oh, he lost so much time there on the last sector. No improvement for him. Behind him JJ is starting his lap, so we're gonna come back to JJ in just a moment. Let's see, who's the Ferrari going first? It's gonna be all Albion. And I think the first guy to set the next lap will be Sean Kino again. But oh no, he invalidated for this lap as well, so he is out. He's straight up out. Will he have enough time to do another lap? Will he have enough fuel to do another lap? He needs 5 laps to do another one. He's gonna just do basically a cooldown lap right now, so oh, that's quite disastrous. Let's stick with all Albion now. He is one of the prospects for this championship, so if he can put out some solid time here. Oh, he's taking a lot of curb there. That's quite dangerous, to be honest. But this section he managed to do it quite nicely. Sticks to 5th gear in the right-hander. A lot of guys go down to 4th. He likes to put it in 5th gear apparently. Braking quite early there. You can go a bit later and gain some more lap time. And oh, losing the car there, and that's gonna ruin his lap quite massively. But there's a lot of guys in the 131s, and about the 131s, maybe the rest of the lap was good enough to still post a good time. He's still looking alright-ish. But I think he's gonna be kicking himself. Going wide here as well. Oh, that is not optimal. He does take quite the nice last turn, but that's a 130.7. Nowhere good enough from him. And behind him, Mellow Space, can he improve? He improves just marginally. Stays behind all Albion. That's not good enough. Who is the next in line? It's VP. What can he do? He improves by quite a big margin, a 131.0, but that's nowhere close to the guys in front. David Boyer also finishing his time here. Pietro Bastia is not improving on his lap, is also finished. Speed Alcoholic is in pole position right now with a 129.9 as expected. Somebody had to put it out, but what is Connor gonna do? Connor goes P2, a 130.3 for him. And it's only Pilos right now, but he abandoned his lap, so Speed Alcoholic again putting out some amazing lap time here. A 129.9, a lot of 130 30s behind them, and oh, Oh, one of the big losers here, I think, is VP. He did such a good lap in Q2, and he's always looking to be challenging for the race win, but this time around P8 on the start, that's not optimal, not the best qualifying we've seen from him all season. And also Sean Kino looked very promising, did quite the decent lap in Q2, made it look easy, but then there's no pace to go further on the soft tires on a lot of attempts for him, so ooh, that's a P10 for him. And Mellowspace did put out quite a good time there. He did a 1:30.7. He's P5. I think that should be the best starting position he's ever gotten in Quicksilver League, so props to him. Will he get a ridiculous start on the soft tires? He has to make up positions rapidly to make sure he has a shot at this race. Obviously we're gonna be expecting a 2-stop from him. It's very difficult to get the hards through all the way to the end.